Now we're moving into our last section of fractions. This is focusing on multiplying and dividing fractions. When multiplying fractions, like fractions are not required. So all you have to do is multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. Once you've done that, you have your answer. But we always encourage you to rename the product in lowest terms. So this just means to simplify to get the smallest number fraction. Here's an example. If I have 4/5 times 1/3, all I'm doing is multiplying 4 times 1 and 5 times 3. So 4 times 1 and 5 times 3 will give me 4/15, 4/15. So you can see this little example has blanks. What would go in those blanks? The 1/3. I'm just multiplying those fractions together. I'm multiplying the numerator and the denominator. 1/5 times 2/7 will give me 2/35. So what would be the blank? That's easy. 1/5. And how did I get 2/35? I multiplied 1 times 2 is 2. And then the denominator, 5 times 7 is 35. Okay, so the blanks, of course, 1/5. Okay, let's do the next practice. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, 11 times 8 is 88. So what's the blank? 11 times 8. To find the product of a whole number and a fraction, I'm going to rename the whole number as an improper fraction. So I need to turn it into an improper fraction. Now, if it's a whole number, such as in the practice example, 5, I'm going to turn that 5 into 5/1. 5/1 is the same thing as saying 5. So a whole number can be turned into a fraction, an improper fraction, by writing that number over the denominator of 1. So if I want to multiply 3/4 times 5, I turn the 5 into 5/1, and then I multiply 3 times 5 is 15, and then I multiply 4 times 1 is 4. So my answer is 15/4, but let's try and simplify or turn it back into a mixed number. And remember, I can divide 4 into 15. That would give me 4 times 3 is 12. It would be 3 3/4. Okay, 15 minus 12 would give me 3. So that's where my little 3/4 comes from. Okay, let's multiply these two. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 8 is 32. That gives me 3/32. Let's try this one. I need to turn the 9 into an improper fraction, so 9/1. So 1 times 9 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. And then the denominators, 2 times 1 is 2. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So 18/6. I can actually simplify that, turn that into a mixed number, or can I divide 6 into 18? Yes, I can. So that would be a whole number, that would be 3. Okay, here's another practice. 5 times 3, 15. 6 times 4 is 24. 15/24. There we go. Pretty easy. Now I do want to identify a common factor of any numerator and denominator. So if I can simplify, I can do some canceling. I'm going to divide the numerator by the denominator of any common factor, which is actually dividing by 1. I'm going to multiply the resulting numerators and denominators. So we did talk about this briefly, where if we break apart the number, I can cancel out the common factors. And so here I'm going to just cancel anything that can be simplified smaller. So first, let's turn the 32 into 32/1. So what I want to do is see if I can simplify any of these things. I know I can actually kind of simplify by canceling, kind of cross the 32 and the 8. If I divide 8 into 8, that would be 1. And if I divide 32 into 8, that would be 4. Okay, that would give me 4. And then I can divide the 4 into 2, and I can divide the 6 into 3. And then I take that 3 that's on the left side above the 8, and I can divide that 3 into 3, make a 1, and I can divide the 3 that's under the 6, that was a 3, into 1 as well. So I can go ahead and cancel any of these things out. Okay, and that leaves me a 1 times 2 times 5, and that would be over 1, and that's 10. So all I'm doing is canceling, kind of cross-multiplying in that way, but I have to do it cross, not directly across, but diagonal across, okay? So the 32 with the 6, or the 32 with the 8, okay? I can even do the 3 with the 6, okay? Even though they're not directly next to each other, I can still kind of cross cancel. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Cancel where possible. Okay, if I look at some of these, I know 6 can go into 24. I know 8 can go into 24. 18 and 9 can go into each other. Now, the key here is if I cancel the 6 and the 24, that's going to change the 24, because 6 times 4 is 24. That would change the 24 to a 4 and the 6 to a 1. Okay, because 6 into 6 is 1 and 6 into 24 is 4. Now, when I address the 8, I'm not going to be doing 8 into 24 anymore, because I've already simplified the 24 down to 4. So I can kind of cancel 4 and 8 though. So let's take a look at this. So I can see I went ahead and canceled the 6 and the 24, and I got a 4. Now that 4 and 8 can cancel. So 4 into 4 is 1, and then 4 into 8 is 2. Okay, and then 9 into 18 is 2, and then 9 into 9 is 1. So I can't do anything with the 7, so the 7 is left there. So it would be 1 times 2 times 2 over 7, which is 7 times 1 times 1 is 7. Okay, so that would be 4 over 7, and I can't simplify it anymore. Now, if I look at that number and I'm like, oh no, I could simplify it more, I'd go back to my cross multiplication. See if I can cross-canceling, see if I can cancel anymore. Okay, now let's talk about dividing fractions. Two numbers are reciprocals, or kind of opposites, like flipped. They're reciprocals of one another if their product is 1. So the number 0 does not have a reciprocal, but let's look at the example. The reciprocal of AB is BA. So the reciprocal of A over B is B over A. So it's flipped, it's the opposite. So let's look at some examples. What is the reciprocal of 11 over 4? It's 4 over 11. So if the product of 11 over 4 and 4 over 11, if I multiply those two together, I'm going to get 44 over 44, which is 1, right? So that's what I was saying in the first definition. So let's see what is the reciprocal of these numbers. 3 over 7. Well, it should be 7 over 3, right? Okay, what about this one? 15. 15, well, I have to turn it into a fraction. So how do I do that? I can make the denominator 1. So 15 over 1 is my number. So what's the reciprocal? 1 over 15. And here I have 1 over 9, so it should be 9 over 1, which is 9. Let's see if I was right. Yes, the reciprocal is the opposite. So 3 over 7 would make 7 over 3. 15 over 1 would make 1 over 15. And then 1 over 9, the reciprocal of that would be 9 over 1, which is 9. Now, dividing by a number gives the same result as multiplying by the reciprocal. So if I multiply the flipped version, that would be the same thing as dividing by that certain number. Canceling can be used to simplify a problem. So we just did the cross-canceling after it's been changed to a multiplication problem. So let's take a look at this. Divide and write each answer in lowest terms. So 3/10 divided by 9/16. What I can do is, instead of dividing, I can flip 9/16. I can make the reciprocal. And if I do that, I will turn this into a multiplication problem. So now I'm going to flip 9/16 into 16/9. I changed the division into a multiplication, and now I can cancel. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 9 3 times. I can cancel that. Okay, 5 and 16, 10 and 16. Both 10 and 16 have a common factor of 2, so I can go simplify the 10 into 5 because 5 times 2 is 10, and I can simplify the 16 into 8 because 8 times 2 is 16. So that would give me 1 times 8, which would be 8, and then that would be the numerator, and then 5 times 3 is 15, that would be the denominator, so 8/15. Let's look at another example, or practice. Okay, 8 divided by 4/13, I have to turn that 8 into 8/1. I then do the reciprocal, or flip 4/13 to 13/4. I'll then cancel, and then I will multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. So the answer would be 26/1. Now I want to turn that into a whole number, and that would be 26. Let's look at practice 2. Okay, so 2/5 divided by 3/4. I flip, I make the reciprocal 4/3. Okay, can I simplify? Can 5 and 4 have any common factors? No. Can 2 and 3 have any common factors? No. So let's multiply the numerators. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. 8/15 is my answer. I can't simplify it anymore. Here we have another example, another little practice. 11/12, I make the reciprocal of 1/4 into 4, 4/1. Okay, I can simplify, cancel out, 4 goes into both of those. Then it would be 11/3. There you go.